Well, hi there, everybody. Good morning to meteorologist Travis Kleneski here on this Wednesday morning. I keep wanting to call it Friday for some reason, but it is Wednesday. It's Valentine's Day. And up near that big city of the day, Valentine, Nebraska, maybe a small chance of snow up there. Most of us have a lot of clear skies to start things off this morning, but clouds are going to thicken up as the day goes on, especially up north where there may be a little bit of light snow today. You saw that cold front right here. It kind of hesitates to pass through most of the day. We'll back this up to about noon. We're in the warm sector. Another mild day in most locations. It will be cooler up to the far north and northwest, though, with that front passing through. And that front starts to race southeastward later this afternoon. So because of the timing, most of us won't really feel the effects of the colder air until the end of the day or tonight. Winds will turn northerly. They will pick up behind that front, right in here. You know, a little light snow, but most of the snow is going to fall in South Dakota. We may see a little light rain here in east central and northeast Nebraska this evening. For the rest of us, a few passing clouds that will start to clear up a bit tomorrow morning. The winds, they will be breezy for a time out of the north tonight. Let's back this up. Look at the winds out of the north. Maybe some gusts up to around 30 miles per hour or so there in the middle of the night. And then as we get towards tomorrow morning, they'll start to lighten up. Now tomorrow, kind of a partly cloudy day, but the focus then turns back to northern Nebraska as the next weak system makes its way through. This is not a powerful winter weather system, but it could have some impacts as this one has the best chance of snow in our forecast. It brings us the best chance of snow in our forecast. Already tomorrow afternoon, maybe a little bit of snow across northern Nebraska. A little more sunshine the farther south and southeast to go. A little bit of a breeze in here out of the east and northeast. As we get into tomorrow night, that snow will start to push southeastward through the area, most of which will fall during the post-midnight to early Friday morning time frame, and then it starts to clear on out of here on Friday morning. Now, some models, this model is a little quicker than other models are, so we may see a little light snow linger into Friday morning, but should clear out by Friday afternoon. We'll see some sunshine return later in the day on Friday. So, forecast model-wise, this is the one I probably agree with the most when it comes to snowfall amounts, but there's not all two models are the same right now. It's looking more likely that most of the southern two-thirds of the area will be looking at an inch or less, unless this thing overperforms. Northern Nebraska is where the biggest questions are right now. This model is going 1 to 3 inches. There are other models that are as much as 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of snowfall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into editor mode. That's going to take my camera off the screen here. As I go into my editor mode, I'm going to show you some of the different models. So this is the European model. I'm going to turn off the numbers and just put up the city names here real quick for you and just show you some of the different models. So this is we're going to bring up the our in-house model. That one is the most aggressive farther south. I am not really agreeing with this one too much right now because it's not like any other model. The Canadian model I don't believe goes through this entire time frame, but it goes through right there. So it goes through Friday morning. So it shows at least some of the snow event. And again, the focus is up north. This is the HRR model. This is a short-term model, so it doesn't go out very far, so it's not going to show you much. The rest of the models I'll show you, they do go through the entire event. This is the North American model. And notice the higher amounts of snow in northern Nebraska, while most of us, not much of an impact with the minor amounts of snow. The GFS model, there it is right there. Northern Nebraska, higher amounts of snow, while most of us farther south, an inch or less. It's kind of where we're gunning right now. And then this is the GFS Ensemble model, which is another one that can usually agree with a little bit more. 2 to 5 inches of snow up north, Tri-Cities an inch or less. Most of the other models other than the European are a little more aggressive farther south, but this is the one I've been going with, and I think I'm going to stick with that one right now as the European model. So again, what I'll say right now is I'll bring that model back up, the European model. 1 to 4 inches of snow in northern Nebraska with an outside chance of 5 or 6 inches, especially near the South Dakota border. Most of the rest of us, an inch or less is where I'm leaning right now. All right, on to your temperatures for today. Still another mild day for most of us into the 50s, near 60 degrees in the southeast, but there will be some chillier air in the 40s and 30s to the northwest. That low pressure system sitting here and then diving south late in the day. Tonight, overnight lows down into the 20s for most of us. Your temperatures on Thursday will be cooler, maybe struggling to 30 up north, 30s, low to mid 40s as you go farther south. Tomorrow night, this will be one of the cooler nights ahead of us here in the mid-teens to mid-20s in most locations. And then Friday will be our coldest day this week. And the coldest day it could be for a while, actually. Highs mid-20s to mid-30s with that snow wrapping up Friday morning. So a chillier day, a little bit of a blustery day on Friday. Let's take a look at the rest of that forecast here. Again, your temperatures will be cooling down in the next few days. For the Tri-Cities, most of the snow that falls will be between midnight and sunrise on Friday morning. There's still a little bit that could last through noon, but most of it will be pre-sunrise. And again, I'm going an inch or less right now. A little bit of blowing snow. Whatever snow we get, it melts off pretty quickly this weekend. A lot of sunshine. After a chilly start to our Saturday, we're going to get up into the 40s on Saturday. How about 50s returning Sunday? President's Day Monday with a few more clouds around back into the 50s. And how about near 60 on Tuesday? And in fact, as you look at the long range, we're going to keep those temperatures between about 50 and 60 degrees next week. So we have got a mild stretch of weather in the extended forecast. The Climate Prediction Center would agree with that as well. They have now basically, they started to change this yesterday. They've pretty much shown above average temperatures are likely through the rest of February, at least through the 27th there. I would even extend that out further. I've been looking at long range models going into the first week or two of March, and they keep it going. We could see some very mild weather for most of the rest of February right into the beginning of March. Precipitation-wise, we're probably going to be near average to below average. I don't see a lot in the long range. In fact, looking at the European again, we've got the snow to our north today, snow tomorrow night and Friday morning right there. That's our best chance. And then next week, not a lot of activity out there, just a few minor chances here and there. Maybe a little bit of moisture later next week. But there's not much. GFS, again, here's the snow tomorrow night and the Friday morning. And then there's not much after that, a dry weekend, some minor chances of precipitation next week. Maybe a little bit in there towards next Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see. That might be what cools us down a little bit in the long range. You saw we go in from 60 to 50. If we do see something like this, maybe it's cooler than 50 by next Thursday. We'll see. Let's look at the two long-range temperature trend models here. This is the ECMF WF, that's the European model. Mild today, but then getting a little colder tomorrow and colder yet on Friday. Then we start to warm back up this weekend and the next week. The mild weather building back in. A little bit of a cool down maybe Thursday, Friday. But then in the long range next weekend we could warm right back up. Here's the GFS model. Again, mild today, getting a little colder tomorrow, colder yet on Friday. But then it warms up Saturday, Sunday. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looking good. And then that next shot of cooler air late next week. This one's a little more aggressive with the cooler air late next week compared to the European model. So that would determine how much colder we get in that long range. So as I bring that 10-day forecast back up once again, I'm waiting for it to load in here. Sorry, it takes a while sometimes. Let's check things out here. And again, the biggest thing that might change is where we're at right there at the 22nd, the 23rd of the month. How big is that drop? This is probably leaning more towards the European model. If the GFS model has its way, we could be down here, maybe, back in this area here. But like I said before, in the long range models, which I don't have access to in my computer system, there's a chance we could be looking at a very warm start to the month of March. There are some models hinting at 60s and 70s. It's a long ways out yet, but it could be some very nice weather in the long-term forecast. Well, I want to thank you all for watching the forecast for today. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day, and I will see you all again on Thursday morning with all the latest. Take care, and God bless. Bye.